let's take a look at the history of artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence involves the development of computer systems able to perform tasks that normally require human intelligence. In August 1955, a group of researchers met at Dartmouth College, and they agreed that artificial intelligence was the way of the future. And they stated in a quote, "Every aspect of learning or any other feature of intelligence can in principle be so precisely described that a machine can be made to simulate it." Alan Turing is considered the father of artificial intelligence. He was born in 1912 and passed away in 1954. Much of his important work in the 40s is documented in the film The Imitation Game, starring Benedict Cumberbatch. One of Turing's major contributions to the world, and also computer science, was developing the code-breaking machine that helped decode Nazi transmissions during World War II. It is depicted as the central theme of The Imitation Game, the film. Another of Turing's amazing contributions was the development of the first computer chess game. It was an algorithm to play chess against a human competitor. It was very simplistic. It would create 2 moves in advance. But the interesting part too is that it was never implemented into a computer at the time because computers were not complex enough. So in his lifetime, he had the algorithm figured out, but it was never fully implemented. After his death, and when computers became capable of doing the work, scientists actually got it to work. Alan Turing is famous for proposing the Turing test in 1950. This was the theoretical exercise of imagining a situation in which a person interacts with another being, asking a series of questions, and being asked whether or not they're sure that they're speaking to another human being or possibly a computer. Having a machine that can simulate a human interaction with another person and fool them into thinking that they are actually a human being would be what it would take to pass the Turing test. Whose work inspired Alan Turing? Alan Turing was inspired by the earlier work of Charles Babbage, who was an English mathematician, philosopher, inventor, and engineer, and is considered the father of the computer. He became aware that the navigation tables used by ships to navigate around the world sometimes contained errors that caused shipwrecks and the death of people on the boat, as well as the loss of cargo. And he wondered, is there any way to prevent these errors in these computed tables? The errors came from the humans who did the calculations by hand. So he envisioned a machine that would be error-free, that could compute all of the tables better than any human. In 1822, he designed and built part of a difference engine, which was a huge calculator. It was never finished. Later in 1833, he devised the analytical engine, which was a major improvement on the previous difference engine. In the analytical engine, it could store numbers. It was a calculating mill that ended up being powered by steam, and it was accurate to 6 decimal places. The important thing to note that it would yield the correct answer every time. When we think about the precursors to Babbage's work, it goes all the way back to the earliest counting devices. For example, the abacus was invented around 1300 BC, and it was a way for individuals to do computations with beads on sticks. About 12,000 years ago, agricultural cultures replaced hunter-gatherer nomadic cultures. This was the first time in human history that people began to accumulate wealth that they carried with them or kept with them. So a family could have a great deal of wealth that they needed to keep track of and to also trade with other people. So the need for counting was born. In fact, writing began because of this as well. People first invented writing systems around 6600 BC in China, 3500 BC in Mesopotamia, 3400 BC in Egypt, 2600 BC in India, and the first writing was done to keep track of large financial transactions between people. The work of Charles Babbage can be viewed as a culmination of an interest in computing, a need for calculating. So when Alan Turing looks back on the work of Babbage, he's inspired by not only what a machine can be made to do, but what would be the possibilities of new things that a machine could be made to do. That's all for now.